Have you ever heard of a secret so profound, so earth-shattering that it had to be kept hidden for decades? Well, that's exactly what we're diving into today. The great secret at the very heart of the Lotus Sutra. A truth so radical, the Buddha himself waited until the end of his life to finally reveal it.
So, picture this. You've got this massive gathering of beings. We're talking gods, humans, spirits, you name it, all gathered on a mountain peak. The Buddha goes into this incredibly deep meditation, and then bam! A single beam of light shoots from his forehead. And this isn't just some little spotlight. It lights up 18,000 worlds, making the entire universe visible to every single person there, from the highest heavens all the way down to the lowest hells.
I mean, can you imagine seeing that? The entire crowd is just stunned. They're awestruck, but they're also super confused. They know this isn't just a magic trick. It's a signal. It's the overture for something absolutely monumental. So you have to ask, what was the big secret? What was this truth that needed such a cosmic introduction?
To really get the weight of this moment, you have to understand this wasn't just some casual talk. This was a cosmic event on Vulture Peak. Beings from every corner of existence showed up because they had a feeling. They knew this teaching was going to be the one, the culmination of everything that came before.
Just try to put yourself in their shoes for a second. You're suddenly seeing thousands upon thousands of worlds, all at once. You see everyone's lives, their struggles, their happiness, all of it laid bare by this one incredible light. The Buddha is essentially expanding their minds, showing them the sheer scale of reality to get them ready for a truth that's just as big. So after this unbelievable light show, the Buddha finally comes out of his trance. The suspense is killing everyone. And then he speaks. And what he says is so shocking, it completely floors his most devoted followers. You see, for years, he'd given different teachings to different people. It made sense, right? Some paths were for personal freedom, others were about helping the whole world. Everyone thought these were totally separate goals. But now the Buddha just pulls back the curtain and says, nope, you were all heading to the same place the entire time.
And this is the first part of that huge secret, the one vehicle. It turns out, there aren't a bunch of different destinations. There's only one, full, complete Buddhahood. And here's the real kicker. That path is open to every single being. No exceptions, no one gets left out.
Okay, so that leads to a pretty obvious question, right? If there's only one real path, why teach all those different things for so long? The answer is this brilliant idea called expedient means. Think of it like a master teacher. You wouldn't give a kindergartner and a PhD student the exact same lesson, would you? The Buddha skillfully tailored his teachings to meet people where they were, to gently guide them toward the big goal they weren't quite ready to see at first.
The sutra has a fantastic analogy for this. Imagine a father promises his kids 3 different kinds of toy carts, a goat cart, a deer cart, an ox cart, just to get them to run out of a dangerous place. But once they're safe, he gives them something way better than what he promised, one single magnificent cart covered in jewels. The little toy carts were the expedient means, but the great jeweled cart, that's the one vehicle.
And this is the question on everybody's mind. Why the need for skillful tricks? It sounds a little bit sneaky, doesn't it? If the final truth is so amazing, why not just tell everyone about the one great jeweled cart from day one? To answer that very question, the Buddha tells one of the most famous stories in history.
This next story just perfectly explains why those expedient means are not only useful, but absolutely necessary. It's not about trickery at all. It's about compassionate, intelligent rescue. It's called the parable of the burning house.
So let's set the scene. You've got this enormous old mansion. It's falling apart. The walls are crumbling, the wood is rotten, and then the whole thing catches fire. We're talking flames bursting out of every single window at once. It's a death trap.
And where are his kids? They're inside, completely lost in their games. They're having so much fun they don't see the smoke. They don't feel the heat. They don't hear the roar of the fire. They have absolutely no idea that their lives are in immediate danger.
The father is, of course, frantic. At first, he just screams, "Get out! The house is on fire!" But the kids, they just kind of look at him, still totally absorbed in what they're doing. So he has to switch tactics. He knows what they love, so he yells, "Hey, I've got those amazing toy carts you wanted waiting for you outside." And it works. They get excited and come running out of the house. But once they're safe, he doesn't give them those simple toys. No, he gives each of them a spectacular jewel-covered cart, something way beyond what they could have ever imagined.
So, what does it all mean? Well, the Father, he's the Buddha. The children, that's us, completely absorbed in our worldly games. The burning house is our world of suffering and constant change. Those 3 little toy carts he promised, those are the different skillful teachings perfectly designed to get us moving. And that one incredible, great cart, that's the ultimate truth, the one vehicle to Buddhahood, the amazing gift we get once we're out of danger.
This story really forces you to ask a tough question. Are we just like those kids? Are we so caught up in our daily distractions that we don't even realize the house is on fire? And what little toy carts are we chasing, thinking they're the ultimate prize? Let's look at another story that really dives into our relationship with this whole inheritance.
So the burning house explained why the Buddha used skillful means. This second story, the parable of the lost son, explains us. It's about why we have such a hard time recognizing our own potential, our own incredible birthright.
The story starts with a young guy who runs away from his incredibly rich father. And for 50 years, 50 long years, he wanders around living in absolute poverty. He gets so ground down by life that he completely forgets who he is, where he came from, and the massive fortune that's actually his. Now, the father never gave up looking for him. One day, he spots his son, and he recognizes him immediately. But he also sees that his son is terrified and ashamed and thinks of himself as worthless. So the father comes up with this incredibly patient plan. He hires his own son for the dirtiest, most menial job on the estate. And then, over 20 years, he slowly gives him more and more responsibility, building up his confidence bit by bit until the son is managing the whole estate, never knowing it's actually his. Only then, at the very end of his life, does the father reveal the truth.
And this is the big moment. The father gathers all his relatives and announces, "This is my son. He's been here all along, and everything I have is his." The son is just blown away. He never dreamed of this kind of wealth. And he realizes this incredible treasure was his the whole time. He just had to be made ready to accept it. It's a perfect illustration that our potential for enlightenment isn't something we have to earn, it's something we've just forgotten we've always had.
So, if we all have this amazing potential, and all these different teachings are just ways to wake us up to it, how can one single teaching work for so many different kinds of people? The sutra has one final, beautiful metaphor that ties it all together perfectly.
I love this one. Imagine a giant cloud that passes over the land, raining down on everything equally. The rain itself is just one thing, one flavor, right? But it falls on all sorts of different plants, little blades of grass, medicinal herbs, bushes, and huge ancient trees. Every single plant soaks up the exact same water, but each one uses it to grow according to its own nature. That's what the Buddha's teaching is like. It's a single, universal truth that nourishes everyone, allowing each of us to grow in our own unique way.
And right there, that's it. That's the great secret of the Lotus Sutra. It's this absolutely radical idea of universal potential. It's saying that no one is excluded. That great, magnificent, jeweled cart, it's for everybody. The different paths, the different promises, those are just the Buddha's incredibly compassionate ways of making sure every single one of us, no matter how lost we feel, can eventually find our way home.
So, the powerful question that the sutra leaves us with is something like this. What if the ultimate destination, our ultimate potential, is actually the same for all of us? And what if all our different paths, our different beliefs, our struggles, what if they're not competing truths, but just different, equally valid journeys toward that one shared destination? It's a lot to think about.